Thank you, Madam President. And I first want to tip my hat off to my colleague from Santa Barbara. I know this has been a long, tough road to get here. Colleagues, there are 7.8 billion hypodermic needles that are used in the United States every year. So if you look at California having approximately 13% of the nation's population, that means we have 1 billion needles that are being disposed of. And that doesn't even include the lancets that are used by diabetics to pierce their skin to get a blood sample so that their blood sugar can be monitored. As many of you know, I'm a pharmacist. I own a compounding pharmacy. I've got a sterile compounding license. We go through a lot of syringes and we go through a lot of needles. But what we do is we buy these prepackaged containers where we put all of our dirty needles, and when we're done with the dirty needles, we put it in a self-addressed, prepaid UPS sticker, and it goes and it's appropriately incinerated. This is the kind of model that we need in the state of California. And that is what's been incorporated as a facet of SB 1212 and having these mailed-back containers to make it convenient and easy for consumers to basically put these plastic containers in a box and just put them out in the mail and they get appropriately destructed. You know, we obviously are trying to prevent blood-borne diseases like HIV, hepatitis B, which can survive 7 days on a needle outside of a host, or Hep C, which can survive 2 months, 63 days outside their host. And of course, the industry has worked hard over the years to make the insulin syringes, the needles, smaller. The higher the gauge, the smaller the needle, to make it less of an excruciating experience for people that have to use insulin 2, sometimes 3 times a day. But because these needles have gotten so small that they actually pierce a lot of the gloves, that many of the MRFs that go through our trash in all of our respective counties, they actually pierce those and cause some of our workers to get punctured, which puts them at risk of these potentially very serious diseases. I think that this is going to be a program that is going to be a model for the country because there is no question that there is not an appropriate mechanism for people to safely dispose of their needles. With the exception, there are some local governments that have done a pretty good job of coming up with their own programs. But one of the great benefits of this program, my colleagues, and this is probably one of the most important facets of this bill, is it will be universally implemented throughout the state. You're not going to have 58 counties coming up with their own different programs, cities, 400 plus cities coming up with their own programs. Everybody's going to know what the rules are, rules that I know are going to work to make our communities safer. So again, I want to applaud my colleague from Santa Barbara. I'm very proud to stand with her and support this bill, and I urge your aye vote on SB 212.